The war between Earth and the Ziran Dominion had ended decades ago, leaving behind broken ships drifting in forgotten orbits, ruined colonies on barren moons, and scattered memories etched into the hearts of survivors. Humanity had retreated inward, focusing on rebuilding its own civilization, while the mighty alien empires turned their eyes elsewhere in the galaxy. For Elias Kale, a wandering salvager, the ruins of war were both his livelihood and his solitude. He drifted from wreck to wreck in his patched-up freighter Horizon's wake, scraping together fragments of lost technology to sell on fringe markets. He had no family left, no comrades waiting, just the quiet hum of engines and the endless stars for company. On one such mission, he was drawn to the remnants of an ancient Ziran battleship orbiting a dead star. The vessel was scarred and skeletal, its once golden hull now charred black. His scanners lit up with faint energy readings. Usually that meant intact reactors or salvageable weapons. But as Elias maneuvered his ship closer, he found something stranger, a life signature. It was faint, erratic, almost drowned beneath the static of radiation. Against every instinct telling him to leave, Elias pressed on. He navigated through a breach in the ship's armor and stepped into its hollowed corridors. The silence inside was heavy, broken only by the creaks of cooling metal. Deep within the wreck, he found her. A figure sat slumped against a bulkhead, wrapped in torn robes that once bore the sigil of the Ziran royal caste. Her skin was a pale iridescent silver, glowing faintly even in the dark. Her crown was shattered, but Elias recognized her instantly from the old records. She was no ordinary survivor. She was Queen Serelith, ruler of the Dominion during the last years of the war. Her golden eyes flickered open, weak but piercing. "A human," she rasped, her voice trembling with disbelief. "You dare stand before your conqueror?" Elias almost laughed at the irony. She was no conqueror now, just a frail being left to rot in the bones of a fallen empire. "I'm not here to bow or fight," Elias said quietly. "I just came to see if anyone was alive." Her gaze softened, though pride still clung to her words. "Alive, yes, but not for long. Unless," her voice steadied, and a faint smirk touched her lips. "Unless you take me. Serve me." "Let me serve you." The last phrase startled Elias. The proud queen of the Dominion offering herself to a lone salvager. He couldn't tell if it was desperation or strategy. But before he could respond, a noise echoed behind him. From the shadows of the wreckage crawled another figure. This one was not royal. Her body was frail, her skin marred with burns and scars, her hair a tangled mess. Unlike the queen, she bore no symbols, no jewelry, no remnants of power. She was just a discarded alien woman, cast aside by her own people long ago. Her voice cracked when she spoke. "Don't take her, please. She will use you, human. She always has." Elias stood frozen between them, one a queen promising service, the other a broken outcast begging for trust. And his decision would change both their destinies. Middle. Elias didn't answer right away. He studied both women, the regal Queen Serelith, even in her weakness, radiating an aura of command, and the scarred, abandoned alien woman who trembled as though she expected to be struck down just for speaking. "What's your name?" Elias asked the second one gently. She blinked, startled. It was clear no one had asked her that in years. "Lyra," she whispered. "Lyra," Elias repeated. "And why should I trust you over her?" Lyra's voice shook, but her words were steady. "Because I have nothing to gain." She ruled an empire built on chains and blood. I was one of the ones left behind. Cast out when I was no longer useful. I don't want power, human. I just don't want to be forgotten again. Serelith hissed, her pride flaring. Lies. She is nothing, a gutter beggar clinging to pity. I am your only path to survival. With me at your side, I can offer you knowledge of technologies your kind has never dreamed of. I can rebuild what was lost. Elias' chest tightened. He could already imagine what it meant. Fame, wealth, perhaps even the power to shape history. But when his gaze drifted back to Lyra, hunched and trembling, he felt a pang of something deeper. She didn't offer him worlds. She offered him honesty. He helped them both back to his ship, though Serelith scowled at being forced to share quarters with someone she considered beneath her. Over the following days, he nursed them back to health as Horizon's wake drifted through the void. Serelith was demanding. She expected obedience, expected Elias to see her as royalty even now. She spoke of alliances, of binding herself to him in ways both political and personal. You saved me, human, she said one evening, her golden eyes gleaming. For that I would give myself to you. My body, my throne, my people, what remains of them? You could be more than a scavenger. You could be a king. But Lyra was different. She kept to herself at first, afraid to take up space, afraid of being discarded again. But little by little, Elias coaxed her into speaking. She told him fragments of her story, how she had once served in the Queen's court, discarded when she refused to bow to cruelty, abandoned in a wasteland until scavengers enslaved her. She had escaped only to be hunted again, and in the chaos of war, she had found herself adrift among ruins. Elias listened, not because her words promised him power, but because they mattered to her. One night, as the stars streaked past, Lyra asked him quietly, "Why did you bring me aboard? You could have left me there to die." Elias thought for a long time before answering. Because no one deserves to be thrown away. Her eyes glistened, and for the first time she smiled. Meanwhile, Serelith grew impatient. She tried to tempt Elias with visions of greatness. She draped herself in whatever finery she could salvage, offering herself as if her presence alone should command devotion. But Elias saw through it. He saw a queen who had lost everything and could not let go of her pride. The breaking point came when Serelith cornered Lyra in the cargo bay. Elias arrived just in time to hear the queen's venom. "You are filth," Serelith snarled. "Do you think this human actually cares for you? He will tire of your scars, your weakness. And when he does, he will come to me, because I am a queen and you are nothing." Lyra didn't answer, but Elias did. "No, Serelith," he said coldly. "You're the one who's nothing now. A queen without a throne. A ruler without subjects. And I don't want your power." He turned to Lyra, his voice softening. "What I want is someone real." Ending. From that moment, Serelith's hold was broken. She remained aboard the Horizon's wake for a time, but her arrogance slowly crumbled under the weight of her irrelevance. Eventually, she demanded to be left at a surviving Ziran enclave, where remnants of her people still lingered. Elias granted her wish, though he doubted she would ever reclaim what she once was. Lyra, however, stayed. Not because Elias demanded it, but because for the first time in her life, she had been given a choice. Together, they traveled from wreck to wreck, salvaging not just metal and circuitry, but pieces of forgotten histories.